everyone. Welcome to the 24th edition of the Teachers Talk. For this Teachers Talk, we have G. Aditya sir with us. And small introduction. So, sir is from Chennai and he joined the higher secondary school for his 11th standard in the year 2008. Post that, he went to do his BCom in Brindavan and MBA in Parthi. After which, he joined the Vidya Vahini program, and post the Vidya Vahini program, he started his research PhD in with the Department of Management and Commerce in Puttaparthi. So without wasting any more time, over to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my humble pranams at Bhagawan's Divine Lotus Feet. Sai Ram to one and all who have joined this Paranam session. When I was in school, a staff member who was working in Prashanthi Nilayam was sharing this experience with me. He said that when his father was very close to Swami in the 80s, he was having a bad habit. And Swami is very upset with that bad habit of his, and Swami is repeatedly telling him to leave that habit. At one point of time, when Swami was very upset with him because he was repeatedly doing that mistake, Swami said angrily, "If you repeat that mistake again, I will punish you in such a way that you will not be able to think of me again." So as a 16, 17-year-old boy, when I heard this and I was coming into Swami's fold, I was shocked. I was scared when I heard this. I got an understanding that thinking about Swami is not in our hands. It's not a coincidence. It is his will. That statement left a lasting impact on me to understand that to talk about him, to think about him, it is a great privilege and it is only his will. So with that, whenever I get this opportunity to talk about Swami or hear about Swami, I don't miss that opportunity. And I thank Swami to give this opportunity again to reflect on the wonderful experiences which I had with him and share the joy which I had with you all. So today I thought I'll be sharing few of my experiences with you all, which I have not shared in any public platform, as this is more like a family where I can share my heart out. So as Brother Shanmuka said, I joined the Sathya Sai High Secondary School in 2008. It was a great dream come true for me. I was wanting to join Swami School from my second standard. And when actually I came to school, the most beautiful thing was living with Swami. So that was what I was looking for. To be a Sai student was living with Swami on a daily basis, seeing him every day and having the opportunity to interact with him. So because I was in the commerce group, so all the people or the alumni will know who are part of the commerce group that apparently commerce group have more free time, more leisure time compared to the science students who are busy with extra classes and practicals. So the commerce students had this privilege of free time, lots and lots of free time, more free time. And I was not into sports and games that much. So my only thing other than academics was darshan. So every day I run for darshan, sit in the first row, try to talk to Swami, give something to Swami and take blessings from him. Literally to the extent of actually irritating him. But I was feeling that I have lost out a lot. I want to get closer to him. So but Swami also profusely blessed with lots and lots of opportunity. So this incident which I'm going to share, which happened something around in December 2008. So before I get to the details of the incident, a precursor to that might give a better context, is that when I was born, I was named by my parents Arvind. So, but even my family members call me Arvind. But due to some fortunate or unfortunate, which I don't know, I was not able to pronounce my name Arvind for a long point of time, for considerable amount of time. And when I was actually the age of going to the school, when people used to ask me my name, I used to tell my name is Aditya, without anyone training me to say. And my parents tried a lot to actually correct me to tell that my name is Arvind, but I used to deny that. I was very adamant that I'll call myself Aditya. So I think my father gave up after some time. He said, okay, fine. You call yourself Aditya, so let's register your name as Aditya in the school. So I got admitted in school with my name Aditya. Apparently, people at home kept calling me as Arvind only. So initially, it's a fun thing. It was a funny incident. But later, when I was around seventh standard or eighth standard, I used to get this doubt that now I can pronounce my name Arvind. So should I change my name back to Arvind? Because those thoughts like we should be fortunate to be called by the name which parents give. Right? So parents naming you is such a most beautiful thing. It happens immediately after the childbirth. So I was thinking that maybe I'm unlucky to be called by the name which my parents are not kept. But it was not a pressing question. I even contemplated at that age to get my name changed officially, but I was young and I couldn't do that. So I just left it. So coming back to 2008, 12 years back, 7th of December, I got this opportunity to offer coconut arati to Swami. So that was a chance given to all the students of 11th and 12th standard. So my number was on 7th of December. I got this chance to offer arati and I was so excited to get this opportunity to go close to Swami. What happened was, as I was in the room, my roommates were from the primary school. So they suggested that why don't you write a letter? And because you're going close to Swami, it will be nice to actually, Swami will take it. It will be nice for them to actually, it will be nice for you to actually take the letter and give it to Swami. I like that idea. So I wrote a letter with all my prayers and desires and also with a lot of sense of gratitude, Swami. I wrote the letter. I finished the letter writing, "Your loving child." So that was the ending which I gave to the letter. On the top, I wrote, "To my most beloved mother, Sai." And I went to Mandir. So those were the beautiful bhajan hall days. The bhajans used to happen inside the bhajan hall. Swami used to grant darshan, come inside bhajan hall and take and listen few last bhajans and take arti. So I offered arti to Swami. Then I went close to Swami and I sat at his divine lotus feet. I was so energized to sit so closely to him, and he was talking. He was looking at me. Then he asked me for my letter. So I raised and I gave my letter. Then Swami opened then and there and started reading the letter. So he was literally reading it line by line. So and I was close and so once Swami finished reading the letter, then I sat down. So Swami, yeah, sorry. So as Swami finished reading the letter, Swami took his right hand and placed on my forehead, and he blessed me. I was very happy and thrilled with that touch of his on my head, and I was in bliss, and I sat down. I sat in his lotus feet. I was seeing Swami, I was seeing his lotus feet, I was seeing Swami, I was seeing his form, the beautiful form. As I was looking at his feet, suddenly I heard my name being called out. I thought someone beside is calling me. Then I looked up and I saw Swami calling me out, and Swami called me Aditya. I was so thrilled, and I just went close to him. And Swami asked in Telugu, "Is your name Aditya?" Uh, and I said, "Swami, whatever you say." I didn't have an answer to say yes. I didn't say no. I said, "Swami, whatever you say is my name." And Swami gave a smile to that, and And then Swami asked, "What do you want?" And I said, "Swami, I want to be with you." Swami said, "Chala santosham." And I took Padamskar and sat there. So to be frank, at that moment, it was not, I was not happy for the fact that Swami cleared my doubt that what is my true name. But I was so thrilled for the fact that Swami actually identified me as an individual on a physical level. He actually literally called my name without me mentioning that on the letter. And I was so happy and thrilled with the fact that I felt very close to him. I felt that he's mine. And I have that video. I think that entire Aarti Chand's some senior brother had taken a beautiful video of that. And whenever I have a low point or I'm having a difficult time, I see that video. That makes me feel that uh, that was the purpose of my life. I sometimes I feel like Swami recognizing you, accepting my prayer and blessing me. It just gives me a great sense of happiness and bliss when I think about that incident. So this was, but apparently on a subtle level, in a subtle level, Swami did answer my prayers, making me understand that I think Aditya was a name which had to be called, and that is what now all people call me. So this was one incident I thought I'll share with you all. Um, so as I said, 11th standard was all about chances. Swami was giving lots and lots of chances of me. I got an opportunity to act in front of Swami in a drama. Uh, but as Swami says, to whom much is given, much is expected. Right? So Swami has given now all these chances, but now he is expecting something back. So that is this test. So he has to put the test for me, and so that test came during my summer vacations after my 11th standard in 2009. So I had gone home for my summer vacations, and because I was coming after a long time, my father planned for a nice summer vacation trip to Darjeeling and Sikkim. Even my uncle, aunt, and my sister was also in Anantapur alumni. So she was also a student in Anantapur. So she also had come home. So we all planned together to a trip to Darjeeling and Sikkim. So we had gone there. So one day we were we were planned to see a place called Tangu Lake. Sorry if I'm pronouncing the lake name wrong, but it was an ice lake, high altitude lake from Sikkim. So we finished seeing the place. It was a beautiful place. And then suddenly there was an alert. It was around evening time. There's an alert telling that there might be a snowfall, and please hurry up, rush up to your cabs. And you need to evacuate the place immediately. The snowfall might lead to landslides, and the entire thing can get blocked. So there was a lot of panic. People were running here and there, and so we all rushed. We six of us were there. We all rushed to the cab, and when we started, our cab broke down. So we didn't have any clue what to do. So the driver was trying to fix up, and after some time, he came and told brothers. He told my parents that the vehicle is not working. But if I try if I try fixing this vehicle, we may actually end up being here and get covered by snow. So that was quite scary for us to know. And this was the first time we were visiting cold snow-capped regions. Right? So he said that there's only one option. I will split you all into six, and I will send you in different vehicles. And there might be some extra spaces in vehicles which they are going. You all have to need to split up. But that was a difficult decision for my father to take because like we all were new. We didn't have cell phones. We had two ladies and two children, but we didn't have any other option. So we took that choice. So fine. So I was put in one vehicle. My parents were coming in different vehicles. So the vehicle which I was coming, so there was a young couple with a small kid, maybe studying in first standard, second standard, like that. So small kid. So they three were also going back to Sikkim. So I also joined them. I was in their car. Initially, I didn't strike any conversation with them. I didn't want to interact much. But then they started asking about my whereabouts, and they were actually from Hyderabad, so they were Telugu speaking people. So they start talking to me. So they asked me for which class you're studying. I said I'm studying in. I finished my 11th. I'll be going to 12th. So they asked me from which school you are. So it was a, I don't know what was going through my mind, but one thing was clear that I was feeling that why should I tell I'm from Sathya Sai School, and they may ask about who Sathya Sai, they may not be devotees, or they may not like some Swami. Why to get into that conversation? So I just told I'm from DAV Chennai. So that was my answer to them when they asked. So they were like, "Wow, DAV Chennai is a very famous school." It was actually in news because for generating CBSE toppers. Apparently, actually, Sathya Sai School is also in the top list. So, but I didn't have the conviction to tell I am from Sathya Sai School. I wanted to say, let me tell something else, so that I don't want to say I'm from Sathya Sai fraternity. So they were like, okay, so you're from DAV Chennai. So the conversation went on. Then I was talking to that young girl. So she was holding something. I was asking her question. Then I was asking which class you're studying. So she told I'm studying in second standard. Then the parents started telling me that. So they told that actually my daughter is studying in a hostel. So she hardly comes home. They have this twice a year vacation, and that's why we have come to this trip, this Darjeeling trip. We wanted to bring her, and we want to have a good time with her. I told, wow, nice. Then he told that actually her winter vacation got cancelled, so we are only meeting her after a long time. So interestingly, that year, our vacation, that is in Puttaparthi, our vacation, winter vacation got cancelled because 2008 was the year when Swami was performing. The Sahasra Darshan Yajnam ceremony was being performed. Swami coming in golden chariot and all that grand ceremony was there. So we all didn't go home. We all were here. So I was thinking, okay, maybe her hostel or her college, her school also had some celebration, so they didn't have this winter vacation. So it was going fine. After that, they started telling about that actually we are from Hyderabad. So, but my daughter is studying in a far off remote place. So we don't go often. It's a village time. I was wondering what the hospital or school facilities in a village. Then they told actually my daughter is studying in Sathya Sai Primary School, Puttaparthi. I was dumb. I didn't know what to say. It was I was in total shock. Maybe they thought that I didn't understand that. Then they started explaining about that Sathya Sai Baba. They started telling me about Sathya Sai Central Trust and how much seva activities going on. They started explaining about primary school, the hostel, the integral education system, and all that. And for you, and I was listening as a newcomer, as if I don't know anything. When I was listening, I was feeling so sheepish about the fact that I lied that I am from DAV Chennai and not from Swami School, and also for the fact that it I had two options, right? So I could have told that sorry, Sairam, actually I'm from Patti, but I told that I'm from DAV. So but somehow I didn't have the courage, because so here is a small girl from primary school. So for her, I'm senior, right? I'm from 11th standard, 12th standard, senior guy. I didn't want to set a wrong example or an be a, I should have been setting good inspiration, right? So I didn't want to even open my mouth. I was like, uh, you have messed it up, so just keep your mouth shut and just see what's happening. So they were telling about Swami. They were sharing their experiences, and so Swami kept the test of when they asked me the question from which place. So I didn't have the conviction to answer I am from Sathya Sai. So I failed the test. So but the result, but the correction comes immediately, right? So the supplementary exam doesn't happen after 4 months. It happened immediately when they told that they are from Sathya Sai family, and I'm feeling totally odd about the fact that here is a Sai devotee family and I'm not able to interact with them. So that was a tight slap on my face. But the thick-skinned I am, the one tight slap was not enough. So there was one more tight slap. So the driver who was driving, so he said that I am also a Swami, Sathya Sai Baba devotee. He took out a photo of Swami, he showed me. Then he started telling that I have gone to Vrindavan and how his cousins were actually students of Vrindavan campus in the 80s. So so literally there was this Sathya Sai satsang happening in the car as we are coming down. So he's talking about his Swami's experiences. this couple and this kid are telling about their Swami's experiences. They had bhajans while we're driving down, and I'm dumb. I didn't know what to say. I can't even react, and I was just soaking the fact that I have messed it up completely. We reached Sikkim, and I met my mother, and I told her that the family which actually came with me, so they were Swami's devotees. She was very happy. She was actually telling that, see, Swami is actually with you in this journey, which is a difficult journey which we are having through. Swami is through you, Swami is around you. So here was, but I didn't tell her that I lied. I didn't tell her that. But I was so here I was thinking that in this remote place, something like a Darjeeling, where I'm seeing a random stranger, who they will know Swami or Sathya Sai, and how will I actually explain them who Sathya Sai? But here Swami is trying to show that Swami is trying to say me that I'm always around you. The Sathya Sai family is there around you always. So this is just so the experience didn't end here, right? So there was a crescendo left. So summer vacations got over. I came to Parthi, and this was the 12th standard. So the first Thursday moral class session, Swami took that for us. So Swami came to auditorium and gave an exclusive discourse only for students, right? So it was Swami is more free and open, right? It's not a public discourse. So Swami can actually talk directly to students and comment and correct. So Swami said in this discourse in Telugu, Swami said that Sathya Sai students are not having the pride to tell their Sai students. They're feeling shy to tell to people they're Sai students. Swami told in Telugu, mana pillalu Sathya Sai students in చెప్పడానికి మొహమాట పడుతున్నారు. They're feeling embarrassed. They're feeling shy to talk about Swami. So I'm sure that day, all the people who were sitting, they would have felt what Swami is speaking. But I knew that it was for me. It was directly hitting on my face. And I was like an ostrich trying to cover my face. Right? But he was looking at me and answering that. Means he was speaking that. It was a moment for me to understand that he is through and through your life. He knows everything happening to you, and he will give the test. You have to work hard to come out in flying colors, but he will give you chances to correct. He'll keep giving chances to correct. That is his grace, nothing else. That is his only grace. So this was one incident which apparently it puts me in a bad light, right? So I didn't have the conviction to share, to tell that I am from Sathya Sai family, but he took the responsibility of making me understand that it's not just the chances which you get in Parthi, right? All the chances and all the blessings that I received, but do you have the conviction deep within that you are the part of Sai family and you are Sathya Sai inside? The Sai is inside you. So that was a great lesson which I learned personally. It was a great lesson for me personally, and I thought I'll share that with you all today. So another experience which I like to share with you all, that this was in 2015. So I had finished my master's in finance from Brindavan campus. I was always very passionate for teaching. I loved teaching from my school days. And always wanted to help people who had difficulty in understanding any subject or any concept. So this was I was having the fix about how to go about after my masters. So this Vidya Vahini, Sathya Sai Vidya Vahini project, which was undertaken that time, it came like a blessing for me. So it gave me the opportunity to work in Sathya Sai rural schools spread across the country, interact with teachers and students, and understand and carry whatever Sathya Sai philosophy which we have experienced here in the rural schools. So it was a great inspiration for me to not just take the knowledge what I had here, but actually see these Sathya Sai schools. So for people to know, there are more than 100 schools, Sathya Sai schools across the country, which are run by Sathya Sai devotees. So these devotees are those who got the inspiration from Swami just by a word. So they have not got numerous amount of chances like how we students have got, or they have not got some great materialization. But Swami just told that start a school, and that word is inspiring them, and that is the cornerstone for them to continue run schools for years. Schools have been established from class 1 to class 12, and there are schools in India which are free of cost. So Swami's word itself is enough to inspire people and carry this project. So I was given this opportunity, I was blessed with this opportunity to be posted in Sathya Sai School in Rishikesh. Right? So it is called the Deva Bhumi of India. So the Mother Ganges and lots of sages and saints actually have meditated there. It's a place of positive energy. It is lucky for anyone who visits Rishikesh, but I consider it to be blessed to live there. I had the opportunity to live 6 months in Rishikesh. It was a great opportunity for me, great learning. So once I got posted there and started working there, someone told me about the Shivananda ashram, which is very close to school. Shivananda Swamiji was a great saint himself, and he has established ashram, the Divine Life Society in Rishikesh, very famous one there. So many people come there to seek his blessings, and that was established in 1940s and 1950s. It's still even continuing now. So I've read about Shivananda ashram and our Swami visiting Shivananda ashram in 1957 and 1980. So I have read that in Swami's literature. So I wanted to go there and see that place. Swami has visited that place. So I've gone. So the first time when I went, I felt very happy seeing the place. It was a very beautiful, calm ashram just beside the river Ganges. Once I saw, and I a lot of positive energy. You can sense and vibe there. But after that I went a couple of times. I started going frequently because it was walkable from the school. I used to frequently go once in twice in a week or something. So one day after finishing my class, I was in White. So I finished my class and I directly walked to Shivananda ashram around some evening. So that day, Swami Vimalananda, who was the third order disciple of Shivananda, he was the president and the trustee of the ashram. He was taking care of the ashram. He was actually giving a discourse. So they don't have a typical discourse like how Swami gives. So they have a very small audience. They have a discourse hall where a lot of people were around him and listening to his wisdom. He was talking about Vedanta and spirituality. So I went and sat behind, and he saw me during his talk and he called me. So I went close to him. He asked, "From where are you?" And he asked me in English. So now I have the pride, right? So I had this pride of I could have told that I'm from Chennai, which is my hometown. I could have told that I'm from Rishikesh as I was working. I told I'm from Puttaparthi. He patted my shoulder and told, "Sit." I thought maybe he didn't like it, me telling from Puttaparthi. So, but anyway, I wanted to tell I'm from Puttaparthi, and I sat. He continued his talk with all the devotees. So he spoke to them. He finished. Then, before leaving, he called me. He told, "Will you have lunch with me?" I told Swamiji, it's a blessing to actually have Eva Prasadam. Surely, I'll surely join you. I would like to have your prasadam. So they took me to the inner chambers where he's residing. So they were serving the lunch for me, and he was just having fruits. So then he said that, "Okay, you are from Puttaparthi, Sathya Sai Baba." So Swami Vimalananda spent 10 years, the last 10 years of Shivananda, that is from 1953 to 1963, he spent with Shivananda. So he was actually there when our Swami in 1957 went to Rishikesh. So he was telling me some beautiful experiences, first-hand experiences which he had with Swami, which I thought I'll share with you all. So he said that Shivananda was actually not well in the 1955 and 56. He was deteriorating. His health was deteriorating. He was not keeping well. And then at that point of time, so the Shivananda ashram is actually on a hilltop. Right? So something like maybe 70 to 90 steps you need to climb up, big, huge steps, and then you reach the ashram. So Vimalananda Swamiji was telling, that time when Swami was actually coming to Rishikesh, to Shivananda ashram, our Shivananda Swamiji got down with all the difficulty with his physical pain. He got down all the steps and was waiting down for Swami to physically escort him up. So Vimalananda Swamiji was saying that he has never seen Shivananda doing that for anyone, be it any delegate, any sadhu, any one person, any spiritual master coming. Because Shivananda was telling their disciples that it is not a spiritual master coming, it is spirituality itself coming. He is the supreme consciousness who's actually visiting us that day. So that was the words of Shivananda to Swami Vimalananda. When Swami reached ashram, it seems Swami materialized lots of tablets and medicines and gave it to Swami Shivananda. Shivananda himself was a doctor. He was actually a doctor from Malaysia who just came for a summer vacation to India, seeing the beauty of the place, fell into the trance of self-realization. But Swami gave him some tablets, materialized tablets. And Vimalananda was telling that after Swamiji took those tablets, his health improved for a considerable amount of time. So he was telling this, he was telling about Swami and all that. Then I also telling about I was telling some experiences of mine. He was listening to that. Then he told me, go to the bhajan hall and have a visit and come. I went to the bhajan hall. So bhajan hall is just like our bhajan hall. You have a central altar, and there are lots of photographs around the bhajan hall. If anyone would have gone there, they can see. So you have all the saints and seers and sadhus of India. So like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ramana Maharishi, Aurobindo. So many people's photographs are there in the wall. All the sadhus and the Ramakrishna Mutt entire order is there. The lineage they have kept there. So, and there is a central Krishna statue, which is a central altar of the Shivananda ashram. So, of the bhajan hall. So, I saw that, I sat there, I meditated, I took the blessings, and I came back to Vimalananda Swamiji to tell I went. He asked me a question, did you see your Swami's photo? I told, no, Swami, my Swamiji's photo was not there. He told, why your Swamiji's photo should be there when he is the Krishna himself? That's what he was telling me. He told me, your Swami is not a human. He's not a spiritual master. He's Krishna himself. Then he was telling when Swami actually came to Shivananda ashram, so he used to actually go inside the altar and decorate Krishna, and he taught Vimalananda and other disciples how to decorate Krishna, how to keep the flute, how to keep the peacock feather. So we have seen some beautiful videos with Swami decorating the Krishna idol in Vrindavan, right? The very famous video. So Swami was teaching them in Shivananda ashram, and it seems Swami used to sing that Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Krishna Jai. So that bhajan Swami used to sing. So Swami taught them few Krishna bhajans, and they sing that even right now. Even now they sing that. So Vimalananda was telling me, so they were new to Sathya Sai Baba, but when they saw their master Shivananda offering himself complete to Sathya Sai Baba, they understood that he is not a spiritual master, he is the supreme consciousness himself, right? So then I asked him some questions like because I was getting like inquisitive about to know where Swamiji stayed, our Swami stayed. So he said that where else the Shiva can stay if not Kailash? That's what he said. So the room where Swami stayed there, it's called Kailash Kutir. So if people go there, we can see that it's still there. Kailash Kutir is the place where Swami stayed for a few days. And it's a beautiful place. And after all this, I saw the place. He blessed me with the opportunity to see the room where Swami stayed. And after that, I got to know that actually Vimalananda doesn't speak much other than people who are in the ashram. Then while leaving, he told me that there is a place called Vasishta Gufa. Right? So go to the place. Swami Chimananda Swami is there. You need to meet him. I thought, okay, good Swami, surely I'll meet him. So though I was new to the place, I didn't have idea. So I took my teacher friend there, and we went to Vaishnu Gufa, which is around 30-40 kilometers. So there's a lot of literature in Sathya Sai literature about Swami going there. But also it's a very blessed place. So I went there. So when I went, I couldn't meet Swami Chimananda there. So he was not there. I couldn't see him that day. So I just meditated in the Vishnu Gufa, a wonderful place. Everyone should visit there. It's like I experienced. Means I was a very talkative. Means I'm a very talkative person. But when I went there inside and saw the, I mean, when inside the cave, it was a deafening silence. So you don't experience that silence anywhere in the world. It deafens you. So very powerful feeling inside. So much of positive energy spread over there. So after I think maybe multiple visits, after multiple visits, I got this opportunity to meet Swami Chinmayananda there. So he was very old that time. He was on the on a easy chair. So I went close to him and asked Swamiji, darshan chahiye aapka. He told, "Kahan se aaye ho?" He asked me in Hindi. I told, I said Puttaparthi, and I got royal treatment in Shivananda Ashram, right? So I told Puttaparthi. He told, "Oh, wo chor Baba, jao yahan se, jao." So he told, "He's a thief, Baba. So go away from him." I thought maybe he heard it wrong. There are so many Babas. So I told, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, जो यहाँ आए हैं, यहाँ आए थे, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba who came here, I am coming from his place. Because वहाँ पता है, जादूगर, he did like that, जादूगर, go away. He told Swami is a magician. So taken aback. But anyway, we have to give respect to his position and his sannyasi. So I just left the place. After that, couple of times I went and tried to interact with him, but he always put me down, telling Swami is a thief. Swami is a thief. Then I thought, okay, so fine. So now what else I can do? So, but I used to go to the place very frequently and love being there. So one day I finished I finished meditating in the cave and I went out. So that's a place where you won't see human beings actually. It's only nature. There are 4 or 5 people in the ashram. It's not even an ashram. It's like a house. 4 or 5 people who are ardent devotees or who are in the monkhood and they're taking care of Swami Chinmayananda. So no one else. So you will feel like one with nature. So in the Ganges, I was sitting and I was chanting Rudram there. So I finished chanting Rudram and I think Swamiji heard me chanting. So he sent a person to call him. So I went there and he asked, Sathya Sai Baba ke param bhakt ho? He asked me. So are you an ardent devotee of Sathya Sai Baba? I told, I'm a student. I've studied in his college. Oh, I told, okay, you're a student. So come near. So he accepted me to come here. He made me sit. Then he started. So he was also present physically when in 1957, when Bhagawan Baba went to Vasishta Gufa and he met Purushothamananda Swamiji and he gave the divine Jyotir Darshan. It is documented in Sathya Sai literature also. Swami gave the divine Jyoti Darshan to Swami Purushothamananda. And these people were actually outside. They could see the light coming. So I was hearing directly from Chinmayananda Swamiji and he was telling that when Swami came to Vasishta Gufa, he was walking there as if he knew this place. He has come there multiple times like that and talking to Purushothamananda and he was interacting with people there. And Chinmayananda Swami was there that time and he said that the aura which Swamiji had, he has never experienced it in his lifetime with anyone else. So he was so happy that he showed me the original photograph which was taken of Swami and Purushothamananda. So there are actually 3 to 4 photographs. Only one photograph is in circulation. You can see in internet and in Sai literature. There are other 2 photographs with a bigger group where he is also there. So he showed me that photograph and he said that, and I told him because I knew that in Sai literature they said that when Purushothamananda on Shivaratri in 1961 he passed away, Swami actually that same time Swami took Hiranyagarba and Swami mentioned to few people sitting there that Purushothamananda has merged me. So I told him that and he was so happy to know that from me. Then he was speaking to me. Then he asked, "Will you have lunch with me?" So that opportunity to have lunch with him. I was surprised, So when we were having lunch, I was given custard with tutti frutti, then some ice cream, sweet, puri chole, and all that. But others were having some fruits and very simple food. I don't know where it was coming from because it was totally cut off from the city. It's in the middle of the forest, so it was totally cut off from everything. But I was served all this, but happily I took all that was served for me and had a great experience having audience with Swami Chinmayananda and knowing and so when we hear these people, then we start understanding that it was not. So that's on the first experience when I told that we start feeling that Swami is ours. Swami is talking to me, Swami is taking letters, Swami is asking me questions as if he doesn't know. But here is one total different side of the story where great saints and seers who are looking for the self-realization, they are able to understand who is Swami. Swami is totally beyond our understanding, beyond our comprehension. So if you see, so that was so these are the few experiences which I thought I will share with you all, and it had actually. So when I share this and when I talk about this, it gives me an iterative effect. I iterate it to myself that Sathya Sai Baba is not just normal phenomena. It's the complete Purna Avatar whom we have seen. The Supreme Consciousness has descended down to bless us, to show the path how to live. So with that, I just have one prayer to Swami to give more and more opportunities to connect to Swami. So people say that it's very easy to connect to Swami in Parthi. I have been in Parthi from more than 12 years. Very easy to connect to Swami. You walk, you're seeing some photograph of Swami, you're seeing some quotations, you're seeing anyone you meet, you're going to tell Sai Ram. But that is very difficult when you're outside. And I see that when alumni is actually making effort to connect to Swami, to talk about Swami, to think about Swami, to do Swami's work, it is just only his will and grace. Everyone doesn't have that opportunity. So the only prayer on behalf of all of us to Swami is to bless us with more and more opportunity to think about him, to talk his glory, and to do his work, and to live a life which actually signifying his message. Our life should become his message. So I thank the organizers who gave me this opportunity to talk about Swami and connect to him. And I thank all the people who have joined this Paranam session for their patient listening. I would like to pay my obeisance to my physical mother who gave me this life, and to the Divine Mother who spoke to you all through me till now. Thank you and Saira.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing. It was such a beautiful experience listening to you as you took us through your various years, various experience, and your emotions. Those point of time, very relatable. I also remember that the Sahasra Chandra Darshana, which happened at that point when we were in primary school. We cursed that we hardly get a winter holiday, but looking back, such a memorable experience. Even at that point of time, while we were preparing for winter holidays and we heard about its cancellation, we cursed, but during those couple of days, it was just pure bliss for us. Swami in Golden Chariot, it's such a memorable sight for us too. So here are a few questions for you. Um, so because you said that you post your post graduation, you went on to Vidya Vahini. So, what was your like? What was your experience as a Vidya Vahini fellow, and how different was it from a student?
Not to drag the answer, maybe I can do a satsang on this separately. But thing is, when we are here, right, as alumni or as students, when we are going through Sathya Sai system, we see faculty members who have gone through Sathya Sai system, like students and stay in hostel, have been inspired by Swami to stay back and offer their seva to Swami. But when I actually went out there in Sathya Sai schools, so it was other way. So teachers who were actually joining Sathya Sai School, students who were joining Sathya Sai School, not as devotees, right? They don't know Sathya Sai, but it is just like one more school for them, which is providing subsidized education, right? But that is transformation. The education was actually transforming them. So these teachers are coming as normal people and then understanding Swami. They have not experienced Swami's physical love. They have not experienced physical darshan, but just the experiences they listen. And the devotees who are actually running the school, they inspire. And I have actually had the opportunity to visit many schools, almost 20 schools I visited. You see the expansion of Swami's love across country, and you see the conviction with people are running Swami's program. Swami is always there with us when the mission is existing. His mission is only expanding and expanding. And that was a great eye opener for me when I saw across the country people doing Sathya Sai work with total conviction.
And so there is so in our Sai students calendar, so we have various occasions which are there, festivals which are celebrated with a lot of gusto. So which is like for you, which is your most awaited day in the Sai students calendar? Like, there's Gram Seva, there's sports meet, convocation now.
Yeah. So for me, I think when I joined school, I think the biggest eye opener for me was sports meet. Okay, so I have never seen anything like that, and especially the grandeur it used to happen, and the beautiful programs, and especially I think the unity which comes, from the KG to PG concept which we keep using now, that you can see that day. I sports meet is very close to me, and I have been part of sports meet, and I had got very good experience, wonderful experiences with Swami being part of sports meet. I've seen Swami enjoying sports meet. I think we were one of the last batches where Swami is coming for practice sessions. We understand that so serious is Swami about this our practice sessions in sports meet. Wonderful. I look forward for sports meet, and then it culminates. No, it culminates with the drama, and it's like a power packed thing. From 11th to 15th, they are in a different world. Even Dashara is the next thing maybe, but sports meet, I think the unity which all students show just to get a smile on Swami's face. I think sports meet will be one of the most cherished moments of Sathya Sai calendar for me.
And from 11th standard you were there. So you have participated in a lot of sports meets too, dramas or sports meet, programs, the sports items. So any favorite, memorable, any one particular program that
It will be easily the first one. My 11th standard, I was part of this Healing Heights. I'm sure you might be in school that Pravina sir used to take that item, yoga asana. I was not a yoga guy. I was not that fit, but it was like for Swami, we'll do anything. And Pravina sir we all know how Pravina sir can, to what extent he can go to get perfection, right? So perfection, yeah. If my classmates are hearing that, they will know I used to struggle a lot to do all those asanas, but we can't give up, right? We just keep, for Swami, anything. We don't care about what will happen to the body. So this Shirsasana and all, I was very bad at it, but we did. If I see the video, I can't even believe that we have done all that. And Swami came for practice session. I think that is very memorable for me. Swami came for practice session. I muffed the practice session, and Swami sir was very unhappy with that. I was the only fellow who muffed the Shirsasana. I fell down. Then it was mixed feeling, pressure, performance anxiety, happiness that Swami is seeing, all that. But yeah, I think literally when Swami saw me the first time in practice session, I muffed. I got that the fear went off. The final day I could do well. I think some of my class will know that how wonderful the practice sessions used to be, and performing. I think that will be my most memorable sports meet.
Okay.
Swami.
So in your Vrindavan and Parthi, you were a part of the multimedia department. So which one do you think was more challenging?
So, you see, to tell openly, I was not the multimedia guy. Okay, so To be frank, we applied for costumes. Our batch in 2011 we joined Vrindavan. We had some 50 people applying costumes only for the fact that costume was a direct entry to convocation drama for a undergraduate guy, or else only postgraduate people will be part of convocation drama. And convocation drama is a very big production. To be part of convocation drama is a very big thing. And Swami used to come to practice, interviews, and all that. It's a big league. People aim for that. But when we know that anyway we're not going to get because of our poor acting skills, so at least get the backdoor entry. So costumes was an entry, and costume department used to have a good say, used to stay back vacation. So I applied for costume department. But I was just handed over the camera and told you take photos. So, but yes, it gave me a lot of responsibility of learning, and it was only to capture moments of the wonderful moments which we have in hostel, right? So Swami being the center, I think hostel plays a very important role. So when we all meet, we have only things to talk about Swami and hostel, nothing else. We don't have anything else to talk. So all these moments I could capture for whatever time I was. And I continued heading the as a research scholar, also heading the multimedia team in Parthi, much more dynamic. So that was so it's like understanding that you just take up whatever you ask for, right? You just need to be prepared for whatever you ask for. We may not plan for it, but it will come.
Okay. Yeah. So, what is your favorite subject across years, from 11th to your PG? So, any favorite subject which stood out?
No, finance was finance was my favorite, and I decided I'll do my masters in finance for that reason. I was not that interested in marketing and other subjects. Finance was my favorite because it had a mix of numbers, and that's why I'm doing a PhD also in hardcore finance. So that is my
favorite. So, adding to that, I made a mistake at the start saying you had pursued your MBA. So, you had pursued your MFM in Vrindavan itself. Yeah. So, MFM was a very select program. It ran for short number of years. Also picked students very selectively. And you were MFM happened in Vrindavan only. So, generally, we know that Parthi probably you might get to have the opportunity of seeing Swami more often. But so why? I think generally selecting MBA or MFM for students, unlike anywhere else where people select, oh, this is probably the best fit for my career. For us students, we are like, oh, we get to see Swami more. We get to have the opportunity of darshan or giving letters or arati. So why did you choose MFM?
For me, Vrindavan was a place. So after 11th and 12th of numerous chances, I went to Vrindavan. Right? So we lost the physical connect. But I'm sure every person who studied at Vrindavan will agree that it just makes you go inward. You understand that Swami is not just the physical form; he's within you. I had beautiful experiences in Vrindavan, and I never felt that I was missing something out in the connect to Swami. Especially, I think the Paranam sessions in Vrindavan are very regular there, and the Sunday study circles, very motivating and very, very energizing. So I would say that when it came to choice of MBA and MFM, it was like for me, Vrindavan is a very good place for me to be. It was helping me to connect to Swami. Especially people from Vrindavan will understand that the feeling which we have after the bhajans, we walk around crying.
Right.
I can't even imagine that. I want to recreate that. Whenever we go, we do that. So I think it's a journey from school. We go to Vrindavan. We experience Swami in a totally different format. And again, we come to Parthi. We are much more mature and level-headed. We have to take decisions like a PG student. So it was much more of a, I would say, to be frank, that it's more of a calculated decision that I want to do PhD. So I didn't want to do an MBA because I don't want to repeat the courses which will repeat in an MBA program. I wanted to continue directly from Masters in Finance so that it will be easy for my PhD, which I'm able to see that it's helping my PhD much more easier. But connect to Swami, I think Vrindavan is one beautiful place to take you inward. It actually gives you the Madhura Bhakti of what the Radhas and the Gopikas had in Vrindavan for any student.
Okay. I'll lend this with two last questions. One is this: so between Parthi, Vrindavan food, which do you like more?
So I will definitely say, maybe if I don't tell Parthi, I may be at risk right now, but I would definitely say it is, I don't know, there's not an option. I would say school food was the best.
No, that's why I left.
School food is the best. Maybe we were more foodie also at that age, now as we grow, we don't become foodie. School food are the best, especially the gobi and the pizza and the breakfast menu setting. I can't forget that. Also, I miss school food. Nothing bad.
And last is two favorite books. One favorite book in Sai literature, and one book normally general normal book which you would recommend us to do.
Okay, so I think Sai literature. I think for me, it has been Ramkadra Vahini. Okay, so Ramkadra Vahini has changed my entire way of thinking, and it is such a bliss to read. When actually we all read as part of awareness course, but if people will agree that we actually didn't read for awareness course. The way it is written, I think one of the best books of Swami literature. Swami's written books. Other book which I read, which is totally a different genre. It's Sapiens. I like this book, Sapiens. So it's a very nice book. It talks about human evolution. It talks about how humans think. It was helping for my PhD to think about the psychology of humans, and it helped me a lot.
Yeah, so thank you so much. And you're also currently, during this whole COVID situation, you're one of the few selected privileged individuals to be at Parthi, and amidst so much, so less population, very focused satsang and bhajan sessions you must be having. So I think you are at the receiving end of the blessings too. And I think we'll conclude this session for this day, for today. Thank you everyone who's joined in on the Meet and YouTube also. I think this week we heard of the sad demise of one of our alumni brothers, Visha. And he was there from primary school as a student, and went on to do his post-graduation also. Actually, he was Aditya sir's, one of his, Aditya sir led his project, took care of his final year project. And today were his last rites performed at Parthi itself. And I think let us end the day with night prayer and with prayers to his family and to him. May Swami be with him. May his soul rest in peace. We'll have the night prayer.
करचरण कृतं वाक् कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वा परादम् विहितम् अविहितं वा सर्वमेतत्क्षमस्व जय जय करुणानिधे श्री साई देव शंभो श्री साई देव शंभो श्री साई देव शंभो असतो मा सद्गमया तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमया समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।